A lot of people have asked us about 3D printing. And so I think Jason said we're going to call this 3D printing for boomers. Okay?
Yes.
I'm going to give some tips on things you need to buy, why you need to buy them, and this might run a little long, but we're going to go for it. Okay. So I'm going to start over here at my supply shelf. Okay. Now, early on, everyone told me you had to use microfiber to clean your FEPs and everything. Okay. I do use microfiber after I've cleaned it with everything else. These are perfect. These are Scott Shop Originals. You can buy them in a 3-pack at Home Depot.
So you use those to clean your FEP.
To start with. And I finish up with the microfiber.
So here's where again, this is for boomers.
Okay.
I use the lens wipes that I bought a stack of. I'll put a link to both of these because I still think those are a little harsh. Yes, that's what I use.
Jason uses these.
So let's just get their label in
I've not even
there.
tried these yet.
I use these because they're like not as harsh. I mean, the blue ones are good because they're dust-free, lint-free.
Right.
Like that's why you want those.
Okay.
Because your worst enemy is dust at this point,
Correct.
or fibers floating around.
One of the things you can clean your FEP with is this stuff. This stuff is great and
awesome.
It lasts forever.
Yes.
Okay. This is my second can, and I'm still in my first can over there.
And again, you'll see a lot of videos that say clean your FEP with alcohol. You don't want to do that because it clouds it up.
It does. Buy yourself lots of this. Okay. And this is just for cleaning tools, your hands, whatever.
And I've bought little tiny spritz bottles. So I have like 5 spritz bottles floating around my shop that I can just spray all the time.
Your printer is going to come with a bunch of these
Paint strainers.
paint strainers, which you can buy in a.
And here's the good thing. If you use Sunlu resin, it comes with like a 4-pack of those. Every bottle of resin. So I have a drawer of just paint strainers.
What you see here, I'm going to call my extra parts. Okay. I have an extra build plate. I have an extra vat. I have an extra Saturn vat. Okay. These are FEPs. These are Jupiter FEPs. I don't think I need to buy these for a long time. Okay. This is the tool set that comes with the Jupiter. Okay. So there's a lot of extra things you can buy. Okay. Another thing you really need to buy. These are great. You want the 5 milliliter ones.
Yep.
The other ones don't hold up. They come in 3 sizes. Extra large for big hands. And they last quite a bit. I've got an open box here. And what do these run at Harbor Freight?
They're about $9 a box.
Yeah. You can catch them on sale. When they're on sale, though, they run out pretty quick.
So I will say this. Jamie he uses what you're about to show.
Yeah, so Jamie got us this.
But the gloves is what
and the gloves? Yeah, he uses these gloves. And I have not yet because I don't want to clean them.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I like to be able to throw. As we know, I'm super messy, so I just like to throw things away.
So, and then there's just some extra resin and stuff. And then, again, plenty of regular, cheap paper towels. Because you are going to go through paper towels like someone with diarrhea goes through toilet paper.
Yes.
Okay. So all that said and done, we're going to work our way over here. These are the Saturns. The original Saturns. Great machines. Okay. And different, like, I don't know if I've ever showed Jason. Notice the difference in these build plates or no? See the top? The handle's different.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one goes with this one. This one goes with this one. And learning from experience, you get really sticky. Now, I'm sure Jason's going to look at my covers and say, your covers are spotless compared to mine.
Yeah.
Okay. But to me, they're not. Okay. Now, these machines have been sitting idle for about a week. So I want to show everybody something. I'll pull the cover off. Okay. Look at that. Okay. The reason I'm going to show everybody this is why we bought these. These are available at Target.
I don't know if they are anymore. But,
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you could try and find an all silicone spatula,
okay,
it'll be your best friend.
And because you can kind of press hard, you're not going to scratch anything. And I also use this to stir resin.
Okay.
Now, I'm just going to do a quick demo here because it takes about...
And the reason I'm saying an all silicone spatula is because if you get one with a wood handle, the resin soaks into the wood handle, and you want to be able to wipe the handle.
Well, yeah, the way you...
Yeah.
If you do this, like you're grilling... Hi, I'm Jason. I'm grilling. You're going to have resin all over.
I talk with my hands.
So, this resin's been sitting a while. See how dark it is, right? Now, you see when I do this, how it lightens up right away? The resin separates. So, I use this spatula for this. Now, you can feel with this spatula if something's stuck to your FEP sheet. You can also kind of get really close to the sides and scrape them. Okay. And if I did this for about 3 minutes, which I'm not going to do right now, I would mix this to basically this color, the light gray in the middle. So the resin can sit. What's the longest you've ever had resin sit? Okay. So the key is...
And certain brands of resin separate more than others.
Yes.
So you'll find some, like I know Soraya Tech separates very easy. Sunlu doesn't separate as much.
Right. And you pretty much have to do this after every print. I do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
Okay. Whether it's a 4-hour print or a 14-hour print, you have to do this. Okay. I'm not going to keep going, but, as you can see, it takes a while. And you got to be gentle because if you start going crazy, shit's going to spill off the side and all that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, because I'm daring, this is something I do. I don't know if Jason ever does. Okay. But I have taken one of these lint-free towels. Okay. I'll take my bolts off that hold my vat down.
It's bad. Hold on. It's a bad position.
Okay. And I'll pull my vat off. And the reason I'm doing this is I want to show everybody. This is crucial. This is a screensaver. If resin spills, guess what? You can fuck up your screen pretty bad. So you get these screen protectors. They're $5. I use Mach 5 brand. There's Bullet brand. There's people that'll tell you to do other things because they're too cheap to spend $5 on one. Get a new hobby. Okay. Now.
Yeah, it is an expensive hobby for sure.
Okay. When you put this back on.
Some of the newer printers come with one already installed, I hear.
Okay.
But if you don't have a screen protector, I absolutely should have one.
Now, when you put this back on, this is a key thing.
Don't forget that.
Okay. Don't forget to put these in and screw them down. When you do that, you're going to come back and your build plate's going to be sitting up here where it belongs. Okay. All right. And the vat's going to be attached to it because you're a dummy.
People have done it. I've done it once.
I've done it, but I always catch it right when it happens. I feel it, like I hear the noise of it popping up. So, okay. I'm going to do a real quick explanation of how 3D printing works. Hopefully this is real quick. So your pieces come up on here. So this goes down into the vat, comes up, what, 1/10 of a millimeter is it? I think, whatever the... Okay. Yeah. And then this light will shine that's in here, this UV light. And it'll cure the resin to this. And then this will come down, up, down, up, down, up, down, probably, what, 10,000 times?
It's whatever your layer number
Depends on what your layer number
so
is.
So it could like 3,000 sometimes.
So then when it's done, it comes up here and your piece is here. And I'm going to show you that in a second. So, because we're going to get crazy here in a minute. Now, Jason doesn't have this. I built these. I'm going to tell you something. You don't have to level it. Okay? but it's better if you're pretty close to level. Okay. As long as this is leveled, you follow your instructions on how to level this to this. And we can do a video on that at some point, but there's plenty of videos on how to do that. Okay. If you're crooked a little bit and your resin is sitting at an angle, it's not going to hurt anything as long as this is level to this. Okay. And there's a whole process for that we're not going to get into. So I built these. I bought these on Amazon, these legs, and we'll include a link if someone wants them. And these are adjustable so that I can level this, and which in turn will level this. And if we look at that, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but we're pretty level there. And, and we're level this way and diagonal. So, again, it's great. Okay. Another thing I bought are these. They're rechargeable. Okay.
They help a little bit.
Huh?
They help a little bit.
Yeah. And what I do is I put mine right inside here, just one.
The newer machines have a USB port on the back on top of there where you plug them in.
Right. And there's also a new system.
Yeah, there's a new
for that. But I bought these and these do help.
Real quick, you'll see he has his one cased in plastic wrap. I've done that on most of mine to help protect, and
because they just get sticky.
They get sticky
and nasty
from your hands because your hands are always covered in shit.
Okay, I used standard gray. Everyone has their preference. Whatever works for you. What works best for you works. That's what I'm going to say. I've printed a few different funnels. You need funnels to either pour your resin back into the bottle if you're going to change colors, or if you're going to. I haven't changed colors yet, so I use the gray. But when you go to change your FEP sheet and everything, and we've got a video on that, you've got to drain all the resin out of your vat. So that's when you need a funnel to funnel back into there, and those filters. So another thing that's handy, Jason uses his extensively. This is my second one. Tell him what it is, Jason.
It's a strainer.
It's a strainer. So if you're worried that there's solids stuck in here, you can run this through there and strain it out. And I've had pieces come up where I know there's a piece in there, and then you find it and you get it in here. Now, my first one, because I washed this in alcohol, the handle broke off. But we can print these for you, or I can print these for you if someone wants one. Cheap. I'll print these for you cheap. So, okay, so that's all right. Now these mats. Jason was talking about this mat here.
Because mine are smaller.
He's got smaller ones, and they do come smaller. These are bigger ones. And it's, again, they're easier to clean up. Okay? And
they're made of silicone.
You're going to see in a second, too, because I'm going to demonstrate real quick. Okay? So now you got two things going here. This is your wash. Now, my wash is very dirty. Okay? And this is my pre-wash.
Like your mom.
Yeah. She's in dirt right now. So this is my pre-wash. Okay. Now, one of the things I like about the Saturn is if I took this Saturn build plate off, I could dip it in here, no problem. It's real easy, right? I can also put it in here, and I have. When I have like small parts on here, and I'm worried about them spinning around in there, breaking, or getting caught in the bottom, I leave them on here and I just wash the whole plate.
Tell people what happens, though.
Well, what can happen is the ball that's in here can come loose from being soaked in alcohol, and you can repair that, but you have to watch my video on how to. But it's really easy. If you have to start torquing down on these real tight and it still moves, chances are your ball is loose. Okay. And there's a video, you can link that video too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So let's go to this. This is the wash and cure. Okay. So right now, this is set up for curing. So after your parts have dried and you remove your supports, so you put your parts in here and you can load it up. Okay. And again, everybody has a different formula. Okay. And you take this and you put this on. Now you can see this machine's on. Now, right now, it's in the wash mode. Hit the button, it's in the cure mode. So I'm just going to hit a minute just because this has already been cured, so it's not a big deal. When you hit cure, boom, there go the lights. That's the UV light. Okay, so I don't know what you do. I do 3 minutes on one side, and then I'll flip the piece over and do 3 minutes on the other side. Okay.
That's more than me, but yes.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. I usually do about 5 minutes total.
Okay.
The darker your resin, the longer you'll have to cure it. And if it's hollow, you'll have to cure the inside too, but we'll get to that later.
Okay, so we're going to show this in a minute. But what you do is you then put the lights up. And I'll bet you my disc is cleaner than Jason's too.
Oh yeah, mine's a disaster.
Okay. And then this comes off.
How is yours that clean?
Because I keep it cleaned. Okay. So we're going to leave this here for now. Okay. But we are going to go back to wash. Okay. And we're going to talk about the Jupiter. Oh, this is another thing you have to have. A garbage can.
Yes.
Okay. This is the Jupiter. Jupiter's a little different.
I'm going to stop for a second. I have a garbage can for papers and bottles and all that sort of stuff. And I have a separate garbage can for supports that I pull off.
Really? Why?
And resin. So I can take that out because I want to be as this is pretty toxic stuff. So I take that can, it's kind of like a clear plastic can. So I take the can of supports that have broken off and I put it out in the sun for a while before I throw it away and cure it. I'm probably the only person that does that. But
and I'll say too, another trick I've used because I've had to, especially making Jupiter parts, is sometimes the parts won't stand up on their own or they're too long. I'll get a clear cup and put it on there.
I was going to say, I do that all the time. So I have a bunch of clear cups like this, but I also have like clear smaller cups that I use as stands. Like if I want to stand a piece up higher, that's short, or a support so light can get underneath a little bit.
Right.
So I would get like a bunch of different sizes of clear cups.
Okay. So yeah. So him and I have basically done the same thing. And the UV light's still going to go through the cup.
Yep.
But maybe give it a little longer.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're doing. So yes. Yes, Brent Krug, I have worked on your thing.
That looks crooked.
You know why? That's the way it is. Jag. All right, everyone, this is the Jupiter. This is the big boy. Okay. Now this has its own leveling screws. I put it on this folding table, but I put a piece of wood under it just to have a nice sturdy base for it. Okay. Leveled it up. I'm going to turn it on just because I can. Jupiter's a little different. The USB is in the side, but it's closer to the front, where the Saturn, it's on the back. The power's on the side. Okay. And now I'm going to open this bad boy up. Okay. What you see here is a noisy filter. It'll stop making noise in a minute. Okay. Now again, this thing is huge compared to the Saturn. Okay. By the way, is your Jupiter still this clean inside?
Yeah.
Okay.
See how he tries to attack me?
No. Okay. Now, this is what I don't like about the Jupiter. But we're going to do this just so people can watch the process. Okay. We're going to put these on now.
See, already that resin smells so much more than the resin I use. I can tell immediately.
You know, for whatever reason, the Jupiter, when I'm running it, I can smell it more.
It's because it's so much. It's because it's so much more resin. So for people who don't know, each resin smells differently. And you might have an adverse reaction to that smell. Some people can't handle it. Some people can. It depends on your resin brand. I have a problem with certain smells with some of the resins. Like Elegoo is very strong for me. And Anycubic is very strong for me. That's why I've been using the Sunlu stuff.
Real quick, before I do this tool is invaluable. And different manufacturers make them. They run anywhere from $30 to $60. Get the $30 one. Okay. And what we use this for is, and sometimes you make a smaller hole and you just kind of hold it up to, but in this case I was able to make a bigger one. It stays on for about 20 seconds. And it's a dental curing light. Now, can you pick up that light inside of that or no? Okay. And this is for curing the insides of your prints. Okay, now this is a large cavity print. Okay. I usually go about a minute. I don't know what you do, which is 3 cycles because this turns off after 20 seconds. You can't turn the beep off. You have to fucking deal with it. Okay, that's life. Sorry. But just to give you an idea, when I get a smaller piece that a smaller hole, I'll just hold it up to the hole, but you're still getting light in there. Okay. You want to go with at least a 3.5 millimeter hole. I do anyway, is my smallest hole I'll put in something.
Oh, no, I go even smaller.
But the bigger hole you can put in, the better off you are. Because when you do this, you get more light going in there.
Yeah.
Okay. This is time
I
consuming.
make sure I at least have a hole that'll fit that at some point, but I will do smaller.
Yeah, but you can't always do it. Like
yeah.
on this, you couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at that, he's got a hole in the top of the head again.
And you know why? Because that's where I oriented it from. But look, when I go in that hole, look how much of that lights up.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason I oriented this particular piece this way is because I didn't want to support these.
Oh, so it's called laziness is what it is.
No, it's called better quality. These are easier to fix. Okay. And that hole's easy to, so I printed that like that. Everyone's got a different way. My way is better than Jason's. That's okay. I've also gone to making bigger holes in the bases.
Yeah.
It uses less resin, but I have found you need to go a little thicker because this is a little flimsy.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll go a little quicker. All right. So anyway, back to this. Sorry for the sidetrack, but this is essential. Okay. Jupiter has this big giant build plate that's a mess. Okay. I'm just going to say it right off the fucking bat. It's a mess. There's no unmessy way to do this.
So I'm going to pause there for a second. I forgot to bring something that I was going to give to Scott. So there is a drain arm that you can find on Thingiverse that comes and it attaches here. It hooks on here and here that braces and then hangs down with a hook. So that when you take this off, you can hang this to drain your resin so it isn't as messy.
But when I do that, inevitably, I get resin out here, which I don't like.
No, I'm telling you, this one doesn't. Like, depending on the size of your piece.
So one thing about the Jupiter, if you have the Jupiter, when you put this on to start out with, look how quick that loosened.
Sorry.
Okay. This is as tight as I go. Look, this don't move.
Yeah.
As soon as I loosen it a little,
Yeah.
okay, you don't need to bear down on it. When you bear down on it, and Jamie did a video on this, you're going to pull this out of level. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
we'll link, if Jamie is, if there's that video on YouTube, because we can link it somehow.
So as you can see now, all I got to do is slide this off. Now I hate getting resin everywhere. Okay. So Jason's going to laugh at me, but I'm going to take this right off right now. And I'm going to go right to this paper towel and I'm going to put this thing like this. Okay. Now we're going to take we're going to take the lid off of this. So that's ready to go too. Okay. And I'm going to start scraping. Boom. Now, as you can see, there's some resin leaking out here.
Yeah, see what I would do, I normally hold that upside down for a long time. Oh no.
Whoopsie. Okay. Okay. So that's mess one. I'm going to get this off the floor. It's mess two. That's all right. We'll send this one to somebody I don't like. So, as you can see, sometimes this happens. The drain hole gets supports stuck in it. Okay. This one's not too bad. Now this is, see how you still got a lot of resin on here. Picking that up. So this is what I use my pre-wash for. And you can see it bubbling. And that means the resin's going inside this hollow piece. Okay. So I'm going to pull it out and you're going to see the resin pouring out. All right, I'll do that a few times. And that rinses the resin out, okay, of the hollow piece. Like that? You with me so far, Jason? You in agreement? Sir. Okay. Then we're going to take this nice little bad boy and we're going to put this in here. You can hear it bubbling up. This is a little cleaner resin. It's not that clean. I'm going to rinse it out one more time. I'm going to bubble it up. I'm going to let it sink. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with these arms. You can see the bubbles. You can see the bubbles. I like to rinse them out a few times. You see the resin pouring out. Swish it around a little bit. And again, this is really dirty too. Okay, this one's going to get dirtier faster, but this will help preserve your resin in here. Do you agree? Because
Preserve your alcohol.
Your alcohol. Right, because this won't get so dirty right away.
I have a much larger pre-wash.
I need a bigger pre-wash.
Yeah, I use a 5-gallon bucket.
Jesus. And I have a bigger one for bigger Jupiter things.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, we're going to put this one in here now. We're going to let him fill up. He's going to go to the bottom. Okay, we're going to do this one. Now, this is the third one of these I've done. And this is part of the Mike Parks project. And I'm happy to report my first orientation worked. So I didn't have to redo anything. Okay, now we'll dump that in there. Get in there, bubble up, sink. Come on.
What kind of alcohol are you using? You didn't.
Denatured alcohol. I'm using denatured alcohol. This particular piece, I don't normally do this, but this particular piece got supported in the main drain. So I'm going to take this off of here, mostly because it's in spots that don't matter. Usually I wait till the part is cured to do this, but you'll see why in a second. Okay, see right there? Okay. That's like the bigger drain hole. And let's see what I got here. I got my knife. I'll use my
As
knife.
far as normally removing supports, what I'll do, I use a hairdryer usually
Yeah.
to heat everything up, make it a little easier.
So, and again, I normally...
My eye! My eye! Just kidding.
No one cares about your eye. Okay, and again, sometimes when this happens, when you get a piece like this,
You're going to wing something on me.
you're going to hear pieces in here.
Yeah.
Now, the reason I did this one is just simply to open that hole up. And then it's going to allow me to feel better. It's about physics. You need 2 holes. Kind of like Jason's mom. Okay. But then now you see how easy the resin pours out of here. Do it again. Yeah. Now this big bad mofo. Okay. Now the nice thing about this is he got some big old drain holes here. So I am going to let the resin drain out just because it's not going to contaminate my shit too bad. That's now again, I wish this was deeper because I'm going to have to play with this. But you can, there's resin in there now, so I'll swish it around a little bit. I'll swish it around there a little bit, and it'll come back out. And then I'll do this side. Like I said, if I had a bigger thing like you did, oh, I lost the support. If I had a bigger thing like you did, a 5-gallon, I could dunk this in there and easily just fill the whole thing. But for what I'm doing right here, this works. Plus, I'm going to cure the inside. But still, you want to get as much of this. And I've evaporated. At one point, I was up to about here. Okay. And I'm going to let that all drain out. Okay. And now we're going in here. We're going to let that fill up. Okay. Look at that.
Well, here you're going to die.
Look at that. That's the alcohol destroying that glove. I've never seen that happen before. On the
Yeah,
5.
what's up with that?
This might have been, you know what? This might have been an old 7 milliliter I had. Because I've never seen that. I've seen that happen on other gloves.
Yeah, what the heck? That's not good for the video.
But anyway, this one isn't, though. So something must have happened.
You might have shredded it when you were pulling the...
So
piece off.
So now I take this. This is heavy, so you got to be careful. And I'm going to put this in this. And now I'm in wash. And I'm going to go, because my alcohol's dirty, I'm going to go 6 minutes. Usually I go 4. Not 8. 6, and then you hit it. Okay. And what you don't see, but Jason's going to be able to see it in a minute. Here, you can see it.
Jeez, that's dirty.
Yeah. But you can see it's spinning. Can you see the whirlpool in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Scott needs to clear his resin.
So
his alcohol. Sorry.
Oh, absolutely. This was while I was waiting
Yeah.
to do this. Okay. So in the meantime, because I'm not as environmentally friendly as Jason. Okay.
I mean, none of this is good for the environment.
Yeah, it all sucks. And the more you can keep off your skin. So I'm taking these little supports.
I have so many support bits on the floor. It's as bad as stepping on a Lego.
I do too. And what sucks is I use this rolling chair.
Yeah.
So what happens is when I hit one, it goes, and it's like,
Jamie always comes in my room and she steps out and she's like, "What? Clean it." I'm like,
This is why
they just stay out.
this is why the puppy can't come down here. But I sweep mine.
Yeah.
When it gets bad, I do sweep mine. I try to keep them off the floor. Now this is where it gets tricky. Okay. Because as you can see, there's still resin here. There's still resin here. If I was going to start a print right now, okay, I could wipe this down with some alcohol.
I don't even do
Dry
that.
it.
I just wipe it, make
just
sure there's
wipe
no
it?
pieces
Okay.
of plastic or resin
But
left.
for the sake of, I'm not going to do this for a while, okay? I'm going to set it down, okay? And then I just take paper towel, and again, whatever's going to work for you, but I wipe as much of this excess off as I can. Okay? And let me tell you, this Saturn is way easier to clean the build plates than this monster. Okay? If I have one complaint about this machine, it's this. Okay? You know, did you see that glove was darker? I think that was an old glove that I had. I had
Just
some
stuffed in
of
there?
the
Yeah.
7 milliliters,
Yeah.
and they just dissolved up, and I'm like, okay, so as you can see, it's still kind of icky. All right, so this is when I take some alcohol. And actually, I like my alcohol bottles that spray. I didn't put the new cap on this one because I waste a lot this way. See how it's just drenched? And that's when I start doing this.
I don't think I've done that yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I especially do it if
Scott should be wearing gloves.
for the alcohol.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, I should be wearing
You're getting
gloves.
resin alcohol soaking into your fingers.
Okay,
He already has cancer. It doesn't matter.
whatever. Your mom will take care of me. So, all right, so I do that. And I even lift up the sides and just kind of run it along the edges. Now, yes, there's still resin on the bottom of this plate. Okay. But right now, I'm worried about this. Take a dry one. And now I'll start drying this.
Trying to think what else. Silicone mats, paper towels, alcohol, spritz bottles, spatula, clear cups, gloves, denatured alcohol is what we use. Isopropyl alcohol in your vat or in your wash and cure. For me, I couldn't handle the smell. It was just too much.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now, as you can see, I'll go back and take my soaked one and wash that
Yeah,
down.
Scott's a really good cleaner.
I've done this so many times, okay? But, so I'll take and wipe that down. I'll take my dry one and I'll go over it. And for the most part, my build plate is clean. Now, I always let the alcohol dry off or whatever, so I'll set this over here. Now, as you can see, this gets a mess and I shouldn't be touching it. So I wipe that down with the saturated alcohol paper towel. Everyone's comes with a yellow one. My yellow one has chipped and destroyed already. So I bought a selection of these and the yellow ones. Okay. I also use the alcohol to clean this off too.
Yeah.
Okay. Which I'll do in a little bit when we're done filming. Now, this is where it gets funky. This is soaked up. As you can see, there's resin in here. And this is why this silicone mat is awesome. Okay. I just take and wipe as much of the resin off of here as I can. Okay. Now I'll take this saturated thing and go over it a little bit. Okay. I'll same with my knife too, by the way. I know that was icky, so I should probably wipe that off. Let's see if I can do this without cutting my hands. Live on the workbench. Reshoot.
Stitches.
Stitches. All right. That should be good.
I think you're good over here.
Okay, so anyway, yeah, so I'm getting good over there, so that's why I'm not getting crazy. I'm still going to put a paper towel down. Okay, and I'm going to put this over here. And I'll let this sit like this now. Turn this off. So this is beeped. It's done. So I don't like getting alcohol dripped all over everything except the floor. So I put this down here. Okay. As you can see, I have another mat with paper towel on it. Okay. Now, there's a couple things you can do. This basket
Do you want
lifts
to put
out
another
of here.
glove on? You're making me nervous.
So this basket lifts out of here.
You shouldn't be touching that.
You worry too much.
This is a video for people how to do it the right way.
Okay. All right. I should have a glove on here. Will you be happy if I put a glove on?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to put a glove on for Jason. Okay, Jason, take your...
You just ripped it again.
Jesus Christ. On my own strength. All right. Yeah, now I'll just reach in because I get gloves on. And then I'll drain this out. And kind of knowing my orientation, I've got this piece here. I'll kind of set this up.
That's a drain arm I made for you.
Yeah, I know. That's great for this stuff, though. So, okay, there's that. I'll rinse that out one more time. And we'll just set that like that. There's the arm. Shake it out a little bit. Put him there. I went a little deeper that time. I should have, Jason. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, you did. That's why you have to lift the basket up. Scott has shown a lot of things not to what to do.
No, you should be a little more careful. But for the sake of the video, now I'll lift it up like Jason says. I'll pull this part out. And we're going to put that
So how long do you let them sit here and dry before you do anything?
overnight usually.
Yeah, that's me too.
Okay.
To let it kind of get.
I go overnight usually. Okay. Not always, but usually. All right. So I'll go overnight usually. And then when I come back, I'll pull the supports off. Sometimes just snip them. Elegoo's nice. They give you about a zillion pairs of these. These are good snippers. Okay. This piece really, the supports came off. And this way you try to orient your supports too. So the majority of them are, okay, like in the case of this, the majority of them are where they're not going to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Or on the bottom of the piece or whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to do a separate supporting video, I think.
Okay. So This will dry probably till tomorrow night. Okay. And sometimes when you pull the supports off, you'll still have a little wetness.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get that too?
Yeah.
What do you do with that? I take some
I'll just
alcohol and wipe it
just
sometimes.
Yep.
Okay. And so once the supports are off, then we go to the step we showed before
With the curing.
where we cure it.
Yep.
And once it's cured and we cure the insides, it's ready to ship. So I hope this was helpful as far as materials and what's going to happen and what to expect. And it's messy and it's icky. And as you can see, I still got a little residue here. That's when I pour straight alcohol on here. That's what I love about these silicone mats. Okay. Take a brand new fresh paper towel. I'll wipe this all down. I know that's pretty clean, except for right here where I see where I spilled some resin. I'll just hit that right there. But,
so yeah, that's the basic of...
Oh yeah, I didn't clean this off. Shit. What I'll do with this is tricky, is I'll get this in here where there's some older paper towels, and I'll wipe the majority of this off with no gloves on. Okay. And see how nice that cleans with alcohol? It's ready to go. It's ready for the next stir or whatever you need it to do. So, okay, I dry that off and I put that vat back on, put the cover back on. These are great covers. You don't lose a lot. They get sticky over time. You got to wash them off with alcohol. I'm sure you go through the same thing. But those are some of the basics of what you need. Everyone does things different. So this is not the end-all, be-all. Okay?
This is 3D printing Johansson style.
3D printing Johansson style, which isn't horrible, which isn't that different from what you do.
No.
Okay? I do have another wash and cure that I think I'm going to set here so I can devote one of these machines to washing and one of them to curing, because sometimes you're waiting on something to wash before you can cure it, or vice versa, and it slows you down.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any questions about what I showed? Or
I don't. If anyone has questions, put them below, and we'll
try to answer. I hope this was helpful, because people have been asking for this. We're going to put links to everything I showed that I bought. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Jason knows that, because he's a creep. But this is the way I do it. It works for me. And a lot of it is what Jason does that works for him, too. So,
all right. Thanks, Scott.
Okay. Thank you. Real quick, don't leave your shit in alcohol overnight.
Say that again.
Tony, don't leave your shit in alcohol overnight. Because, believe it or not, alcohol dissolves this stuff.
That's the whole point of cleaning it in alcohol.
Okay? And rinses it away. So that's why you want it to dry and why you want to cure it. Okay? So you don't want to, but you don't want to run into, and just so you know, I hate wasting paper towels. So like this paper towel I've used to dry this, okay, is now, if you felt this, it's not sticky. But I'll leave that paper towel, let the alcohol evaporate out, and I'll use it to start off again. I'll store that there. I'll store this here. Okay. And the other thing, I showed the plug where I can turn my machine off remotely or on a timer. Okay, so I did show that. I think there's a video on that as well.
Yep.
We'll see you next time on 3D Tips. I hope.